I am so pumped that you guys are back. The Jonas Brothers.
Woo!
What's up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, we got so much to
Too
talk
long,
about.
my friend.
Yeah, so much to talk. I haven't seen Kevin in forever. Seen you guys a little more recent, you know.
Correct.
Kevin,
I invited you over. You didn't come over. It's
you know what?
whatever.
It was a bit. I shouldn't have. I should have showed up. I should have.
Yeah,
but I'm a bad person, man.
You didn't even RSVP.
Nothing. I'm terrible. You know. I so much to tell you, Kevin, because I've had my experiences with Joe and Nick over the last couple of months.
Oh, I've seen pictures.
Some bones to pick, right?
Yes. Have you seen the awkward moments between all
Yes,
of us?
I definitely have.
Okay. Well, we'll get to all that stuff. Of course, talk Wango, new music, everything, album, documentary.
It's out.
It is out. And I'm talking with Kevin before we do this thing, and I'll get all you guys, jump in on this. But
Yeah.
This documentary is tough to watch for portions of it as brothers, right? It's a tough family view, right?
Well, I think the thing that makes this documentary so important to us is that we really pulled the curtain back. We wanted people to get a real look at our journey from our early days growing up in New Jersey to the beginning of the band to, the tremendous success we had back then, and then how it all kind of fell apart. And that was going to be it. But then in that, working together, traveling, making this thing, we started feeling like we wanted to feel that magic again that we felt back then. And that required having some really tough conversations, things that we had left unpacked for a while. And we had to get in there and open it up and be as honest as possible. But then what happens is, a year later, you cut the movie together and you've got to make a decision if you want to keep those very real personal scenes in there. And we felt a responsibility to do that. To share not only with our fans, but hopefully with people all around the world who perhaps are having a tough time with their family. Maybe there's been some distance or frustrations. Hopefully if they watch this movie, they want to call them up and say, hey, I love you. We'll get through this. It's all going to be okay.
Maybe it feels better now, and it's better now because of the low you guys went through. Do you think that adds to it?
I definitely think it's super rewarding, everything we're getting to do again, because personally, I never thought this would happen again. So every moment is something that we want to celebrate and enjoy together. And I think that's a big thing that we didn't do a lot of. Back in the day, you saw as well, like we were very, very busy, but at the same time, we always moved on to the next thing so fast. And we didn't take time to really enjoy the small wins, big wins, and all of those things. And so now it's all about that for us. It's about having fun and just enjoying each other, and on top of having the fun of making new music and being out there in front of the fans again.
Getting back together, and I'm sure once again we'll see this in the doc. But how difficult was it to say, all right, this is our past. We've had some ups and downs. Should we do this again? What made you? How difficult was it to flip that switch?
Different times for all of us to make that decision to say, let's do this. I was kind of last at the party. We were in Cuba last summer, and it started to click in for me that we worked through a lot of stuff. We kind of were almost forced to have these conversations because we would sit down together. In Australia, I remember we had a drinking game, but it was a therapeutic drinking game because if the way it plays, we kind of came up with this game, but we have a big bowl. We put a bunch of questions that you wouldn't want to answer yourself in the bowl. And then somebody will pull it out. And if, say, they both think that I didn't answer the question correctly or honestly enough, I have to take a big swig of my drink. So
by round three.
Round three, we're all pretty
very
loose.
honest, very quick.
And then we worked through those big things that we felt, whether that were holding us back as a band or whether it was creative differences. Cut to here in Cuba, we're sitting around playing acoustic songs of old Jonas Brothers. I haven't played in 7 years. And those feelings of happiness that you used to feel, it hit me. And I was like, oh man, I'm remembering the harmonies, and you're seeing the stage. And that was when it kind of clicked for me. I was like, I'm ready. So it took a while, but it was the right timing.
Now, do you think that are you not? I guess the word therapy is not appropriate here, but do you think this group therapy, in a sense, is it? Are you back together and everything's happy now, or is it still sort of a process, still working through some bumps and bruises?
I think that our personal growth in these last couple of years has really helped us, understand that relationships don't mean that everything's great all the time. It's actually the opposite of that. If you're not doing the work every day, if you're not being aware of, how something you said might have affected the other, or something you did affected the other, then you're not doing your job, and just because we're family. And I think this is one of the things that we the Pandora's box that opened for us is that just because we're family doesn't mean that it always has to be okay. That it's always going to work itself out. Sometimes you have to sit down, talk about things, And as tough as that is, the results can be really good as long as you make it. Actually, you know who told us this? Dr. Phil.
No kidding.
We become
Of all
pretty
people.
close with him.
Shout out.
And his family.
Dr. Phil.
DP.
But he was
if you're
talking
listening.
about he and his wife, and the reason their marriage has been so successful is because they never let it get to that point where they introduced that word. And for us, although we're not married, obviously, in some senses, creatively, emotionally, and artistically.
What is that word? Which word?
The D word.
Oh, that
Divorce
word.
for
Gotcha.
them, and
Right,
for
right.
us would be breakup, right?
Right.
So we never let it get to that point where we would even introduce that idea, and everything else is a safe zone. So for families, right? Like
Right.
they could sit down and know that as a precursor to the conversation, regardless of how tough it is, it's never going to end their relationship.
Gotcha. So you guys have a formula that's going to carry you. This is going to work now.
Yeah,
Get
thanks,
it.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad I could help you guys.
I mean, check it back in with us in like a couple years. We might be broken up again, but I'm joking.
Don't say that. Do not say that.
Jojo didn't even laugh. He was just
That's
like,
not funny
Don't do
at all.
this.
Jojo
Jojo was like, what?
Let's do some album talk, you guys. Tell me all
Yes.
about this. For people, if you have it already, you're going to know everything we're talking about. But for people who maybe don't have it yet or haven't, give me details.
So it's been 10 years since
God,
the Jonas
it's crazy.
Brothers album came out until now.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Here it is. I think the biggest thing for us with this album, it came together really quickly. We worked with Greg Kirsten, and Ryan Tedder came on as an executive producer. So we got incredible people in the room with us. But the stories we're telling, we had many years. Although this album kind of came in with less than a year we made it, it feels like we had 10 years worth of material to tell the world and our fans. All the growth individually. We're also in a similar place in our life, romantic life, so that helps when you write music. A lot of the time you come into a room, I think for all the years we've worked together, one person's going through a breakup, one person just met somebody, and it's just like we can never really define what we want to write about. And this is everything from songs like letters to our fans, to our significant others, to each other, conversations as brothers and what that's like. So there's a lot of arc to this album that I think this is probably our strongest body of work we've ever made.
Well, you guys, clearly this album it's working for us on the radio, that's for sure. I mean,
Thank
Sucker and Cool and everything else. We're going to play another track in a few minutes called Only Human.
Yeah.
What do I need to know about this track? And this is not necessarily a single or anything. This is just a song we're going to feature off the album. Who knows what the next single is? But
We want the fans to tell us.
yeah, which ones, as you go through the album, which ones are you feeling? But why, tell me about this Only Human track. Why am I playing this track right now?
Playing this track because towards the end of this album making process, we worked with Ryan Tedder. He EP'd a lot of the record. Greg Kirsten, who is one of our favorites, was a huge piece of the puzzle for us in the creative front. And then last minute, Max Martin, Shellback, who are responsible for most of the hits over the last 25 years, they came with this record. And it was a different lyric and some different melodies and things. But we took it, we felt like we could do something with it. So we rewrote it with them, made it our own. Because that was the thing about this album as a whole, is that it had to be relevant to our real life stories. And I think that each story had to be consistent with actually where we were in our lives. And it's very different than even my solo stuff or Joe's stuff with DNCE. And it's very different from the Jonas Brothers stuff from back in the day. The themes all have to be accurate. So we changed it, and now it's a song about not denying yourself of basic human instincts. And that could be anything from love to dancing to living the life you want to live, and this song should be the anthem, the theme song behind that.
What was it like when Sucker hit #1? This is your first, to my understanding, #1 as a group.
For sure.
It's
Give me that moment. You got a call, you got an email, you got a text.
Well, yeah. So when the week it came out, it went to #1 on Hot 100, which is a dream of all of ours. But I think the thing that was funny was that we kind of knew on Friday that it was going to be #1, but our label, the best label in the world, Public Records,
Of course.
didn't want to tell us then, because they were like, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Somebody could get hit by a bus, and all of a sudden, all their music is #1.
That's I was going to say that, but yeah.
It's like, but the reality, it could happen.
That's true, That is very true.
So
You could
they
fall out
were,
this window, and it's like, we're only going to play JoJo now.
You know what?
They were
That's a fair
really
point.
I hope that doesn't happen.
conservative about it. But what we didn't know is that they had already made up plaques celebrating the #1, and they were about to arrive at our houses on Friday. And it would have ruined the whole, let's keep them waiting throughout the weekend. So they arrived on Monday morning, and that's how we found out. These plaques arrived that said #1, Hot 100 debut.
They were really
It
special.
was very cool.
Very excited.
And worth the wait.
Joe, I think you at time. I think you're known for forgetting, or back in the day, forgetting Jonas Brothers lyrics. And when you did,
You're known for that.
are you known
Known
for
for
that?
forgetting Jonas Brothers lyrics?
Is that true or false?
That's very true.
All right. So when you got
It's
back
very
together
true.
to redo, to relaunch the Jonas Brothers,
Yes.
did you have to research old Jonas?
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. I don't have to research too much. There's a little teleprompter that's been helpful recently at some shows. Here's
Oh.
the thing: Nick will call out songs. Like
Happened yesterday.
Happened yesterday. But it's not that I don't know it. I'll get in my head like, oh man, like what if I'm the guy that forgets this lyric? But luckily, you could always just be like, all right, now it's your turn to sing.
Oh my God! And then luckily the crowd. Okay, you said at Wango Tango you called on a song, Nick, and what do you mean? Like you randomly?
This was
improvised?
this is a little acoustic set.
Acoustic set. I called out one of our songs, "Gotta Find You," from Camp Rock,
Oh my God!
Oscar-winning film. Camp Rock.
Boom! Can't hate Camp
It was
Rock.
premiered at Cannes, I believe, festival 2006, 7.
Since 7, yeah. So I called out that song last minute, even though we sort of discussed it in soundcheck, but I forgot
didn't
that
discuss it.
we didn't have the prompter. So
It's not necessarily I
actually
need the
panicked.
prompter.
I panicked second verse because I was like, I can see your face, like I could feel that you. So I was like, gonna jump in with some kind of like,
I know it
Joe,
all.
you mind
It's
if
just
I
not-
take this verse? Because I remembered it. But
Right.
It's nice to know in the back of your head, just that you have that safety net.
I'm with you, Kevin. Do you forget? Did you remember everything?
No, I forget. During rehearsals, I started playing like SOS during another song. Like,
Oops.
at one point I played a completely wrong song. But luckily it was rehearsal. But yeah. Remembering keys on specific things. Their voices have changed a little bit since younger days. So like
these are the same though.
Yeah, still hit those notes, bro. Chill.
Yeah.
And Kevin you have the great guitar poses, like the power stance. You got a bunch
You
of
got
those.
the power stomp too. Power stomp to spin.
I just yeah.
Spin.
gotta bring it all.
I think one of the new stars of the family. You guys are all fine and dandy. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But Kevin's daughter.
Yeah.
This video, you got to talk about how she is. She sort of leaked the secret about Jonas Brothers and all that stuff.
So 2 kids now, which is amazing, Alina and Valentina. But Alina didn't quite understand that the Jonas Brothers getting back together was a secret. So she told her entire school and the teachers, to the point where they actually pulled me aside when I picked her up from school one day and asked her if she's going to be staying with them, at school, or if she's going to be going on the road with us. And I was like, of course, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. But at the same time, what are you talking about? Turns out Alina has been telling everyone in school that the Jonas Brothers are getting back together. My dad's a rock star, and I'm going to be going on tour. I'll see you later.
Oh, my God.
So great.
So,
So awesome, right?
the
She
girls,
also sent a video to you to show Danny tonight. She just said, "Hey, Mom, remember, don't toot on the red carpet."
it's incredible. I can play the audio for
That's
you.
good
You can hear
advice.
it.
Good advice.
But also the other thing is, I have done that on the red carpet. The brilliant part about it is that there's so many people in such a confined space that you can get away with it
Downwind.
and just
Right.
point it at someone else.
Yeah. It was Will I Am.
Oh,
It was always Will.
Oh,
Yeah,
Will,
it's
Will's
always
great
so,
advice.
like, listen to the audio, right?
Mommy, don't toot during the red carpet.
That's great advice, right?
Yeah.
So, did you
It's great advice.
did you not toot on the carpet at Wango Tango, or how did we do?
Oh, I definitely did there, actually.
I
know
did as well.
I just blamed it on Ryan.
Perfect. Well, you know what? He toots all the time, so who cares? You just performed last weekend at our iHeartRadio Wango Tango in L.A.
Yes.
What was that? I mean, that's the first. The last time you performed at Wango Tango was 11 years ago. You said
11
Kevin?
years ago. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Snoop Dogg was on that bill.
I recall. Oh, that's right, because we had we went on stage at a certain point and announced that Snoop Dogg's coming up.
And this new reality show family was there as well.
Who was that?
Kardashians.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I recall we
They
had
were
this-
literally introduced to us then as this new like reality show that Ryan's producing. They just want to meet you.
Wow. That's amazing.
when the crowd, you guys go on stage. Clearly, you expected the crowd to react like they did, but how did that feel? Because that was a Jonas crowd.
Oh, well,
Oh
thank
man,
you.
it was nuts. We really did not expect to feel that reaction. We didn't know really what to expect. Like, we showed up and people were like, "Do you see how many signs for the Jonas Brothers are here?" And we're like, "Cool." We're looking online. We're getting tagged in all these photos. And when we walked out, it was just craziness. And probably our backstage was the most interesting. So I have to tell you a story. So the day before the show, I get a text and it's like, "Hey man, I'd love to come to the show. Like, I want to see you guys perform. It's been so long." Manson. And I was like,
Oh my God! I saw him backstage, and I was thinking, what is he doing here, Marilyn?
and, so then,
okay.
and then I'm like, "Hey, hey man, yeah, for sure. Marilyn Manson? Question mark?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." And like, really aggressively texted me like on the hour, every hour. Like,
And
hey,
you'd never met him before, right?
So
or had you?
the backstory
Is that
Oh, here
the
we go.
last iteration of the Jonas Brothers? This was like right before it ended. There was a song we were thinking of releasing that we had approached him to direct the music video for, and he was going to do it. It was like in motion. It was going to happen.
What do I mean to you, right?
Yeah, but it's been years. So cut to Halsey walking up to the hallway to us and being like, "Is Marilyn Manson here with
In your dressing room right now?" And then everyone keeps seeing. They're like, "Hey,
What's happening?
Same thing with me.
the Jonas Brothers backstage area is getting badass." And so he's really sweet, and he brought some friends, and he was side of stage rocking out, and then we left because we like quicked out, and he wrote me, he's like, "Did you guys leave?" Like I was like, "I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean to say goodbye." But it was really nice that he came out, and it kind of like gave you like a chip on our shoulder. Like we wore a little bit more black on stage that day.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Chip on your shoulder.
Me and producer Tar, we were leaving the broadcast. We stepped outside of the room just to drink whatever, and we looked up, and there, Marilyn Manson. I just couldn't.
Big
like,
Jonas Brothers fan.
Yeah, I had no idea. I almost spit out my wallet. What the heck? Like you see this?
Priyanka freaked out.
Did she really?
I didn't know, and I didn't say anything about it. And she walked in the dressing room. And she goes,
She like turned around. She like froze. She turned around, and looked at Nick. She was like,
I was like, "What's wrong?"
Oh my
She's
God.
like, "Is that?" I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "You didn't tell me?" I was like, "No, I didn't know."
Is she a fan?
I didn't think.
Because Marilyn has that image of he's kind of a scary dude, but it
He's
was
a sweet guy.
Huge fan.
super nice guy.
He's
from what
such
I
a nice
understand.
guy. Yeah.
very.
I got to meet this dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's
Now,
awesome.
Have him on the show.
that was one of my questions: is why was Marilyn Manson backstage, and that you are the reason he was there.
Also, Halsey has she has a whole like tattoo of his face apparently on her side.
I love
Yes.
Halsey.
That's
She can
so
do
cool.
no wrong. Oh my goodness. Congrats, by the way. I should have said this at the top here. Congrats on all you guys' weddings, marriages, everything.
Thank you.
Kids,
Thank
Kevin,
you.
and all this stuff. And congrats on. I don't know if Nick and if Kevin, you guys are jealous of Joe having the greatest wedding videographer in the history.
Oh,
I don't know about. I would say jealous, honestly.
Maybe thankful.
Unintentional.
Dude, I talked to Diplo the other day, and he was joking, or maybe not. He said he's thinking about starting a wedding filming service because it was such a moment, right? It really was. I don't know
actually-
what was planned,
kind
what
of
wasn't
genius.
planned.
I'm gonna Photoshop some stuff together. Like, you just gave me a great idea.
Oh, you should. I mean,
I'd say for people that
Joe
don't,
is- Joe
I'd say for
loves
people that
making
don't
memes,
know
so.
what we're talking about, I don't have to say that because they know exactly
they
what
know
I'm
what we're
talking
talking about. But yeah, the way he, when he's filming your wedding, and the way he used the dog filter from time to time, added a nice touch to it, and then
I'm gonna hit this wedding real quick.
yeah, and then Khalid's head kind of placed in
Diplo
camera.
discount. I'm trying to think of like a good
Yeah,
Diplo discount wedding services.
yeah.
You got to
Don't
say
need to Diplo for cash because he's gonna film it anyway.
It's multi-source though. You get your wedding photographer and DJ for the same price.
perfect.
Yeah.
And if you do the commercial like you're saying, like the ad, like it's Diplo's discount wedding.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
That's
anyway,
very
it was.
funny.
I don't know what was planned and what wasn't, but it was just. It was a moment,
Well,
and it was genius. And
that wasn't planned. It's all love. He's he lives by the Diplo law.
which is
The Diplo law.
What is
We're
the
all
Diplo-
talking in a southern accent because he's a country boy now.
that's right. Old Town
Which is
Road.
that
all that.
anything is up for the gram. Like anything, you should just know when you're with him. Like it might be on Instagram.
Oh my God. Well,
Even your private wedding.
maybe so. Well, I hope that was a good
Using the
thing.
restroom.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
We go on our first tour.
The
in
tour.
years.
Oh my
Happiness
gosh.
Begins tour starts August 7th in Miami. We had to. I mean, not had to. We got to add 30 more shows in the U.S. Just announced the European dates, making plans for the rest of the world. But the response to these initial dates and how quickly these shows sold was just unbelievable to us, and we're so grateful that the fans are excited to come out and party with us this summer. We can't wait. We're building the show now. We're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, if Wango Tango is any indication of what the summer's
it's gonna
going to
be
be,
crazy.
it's going to be amazing.
You guys are braced for just madness and excitement and great times. I do have a question about you're all married now, and Kevin, you got kids. How does the families are they all going on tour with you basically?
Family affair.
There
I mean,
you
not
go.
every show. It's our everyone has lives outside of the Jonas Brothers as well. So our wives will have to work a bit, and obviously Kevin's got his two beautiful daughters who have school starting up. So
Yeah.
I think we'll balance out when and where they come out to shows, but we want them there as much as possible.
Where you guys get on this album, of course, documentary. It is a powerful documentary, and some like you said, some moments you debated on editing out, you left in, and I think it'll be quite relatable to a lot of families going through similar things. Joe, of course, we got to talk paranormal. All you guys, man, that's a crazy story. And I love you guys. I really
Love
do.
you, man. Thank
Thanks,
you so
man.
much for having us on.
Absolutely. End of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Give me a little bam, and I give him a bam and a boom.
Love it.